TerryNorris is not only beating up, he's hurting NickRupa. Nick has too much determination in his mind for his own good tonight. Jerry Quarry was a great light heavyweight and then a heavyweight that fought like that. His brother Mike was very similar to that. And every once in a while they come along like NickRupa. The heart of a champion, but not the ability. There was another great heavyweight that took a lot of punishment and a very determined guy. His name was George Chuvalo, a great Canadian fighter like Rupa himself. I'll never forget the night when Chuvalo broadcast that fight in Vancouver when he fought Muhammad Ali, and what a battle it was and what a beating George Chuvalo took. Very similar. Let's see what Marty Dankins is saying. I think he's calling the doctor in for lip sync.
Got a cut in the mouth, that's what I'm worried about.
Jim Westbone getting the end swell on him. Okay. Marty Dakin having a real good look.
We don't even have time to work. You got to stay right on top of it.
Marty actually called timeout in between rounds because he wanted to look, but he also wanted to give Jim Westbone a chance to work on him. You see? That eye is in rough shape. That's end swell, and they've done a nice job. Jim has done a nice job. He's cut inside the mouth. He's getting that swelling down pretty good, but it's not going to hold up, folks. I would say that this could be the last round of the fight. Georgie Benton again in charge of defense. Greg Page in charge of offense. They've done as good a job as you can do with a guy with his ability. TerryNorris now is really having it his way, and he knows it. But look at the heart of Rupa. Continues to chase Terry down. Terry up on the toes. The adrenaline flow is there. He knows he's in control. He's won every round of the fight. He bangs that head back again at NickRupa. And you can see Marty Dankins having a real good look at this guy now. It's a question of how many more times he's going to let this kid get hit. The problem is, every time he gets hit, he comes back and throws punches, and it is professional boxing. They're in the hurt business. This is a tough, grueling sport, and this is a tough, grueling fight, especially for NickRupa. We're in the 8th round. It's scheduled for 12. He's been hit. He's been pummeled. He hasn't been down. They ruled it back in the 4th round, a knockdown, but the replay that the referee couldn't see, we could, indicated that his gloves never did, in fact, touch the canvas. And I scored the 6th round and 10-8 round because he was just took so many right-hand shots, and a very difficult 7th round, too. Terry in complete command, giving a boxing lesson to NickRupa. And he's hit him harder and more times. Nick throwing a ton of punches. We had a punch stat on this. I'm sure he's way up there in the amount of punches. But how many landed? And how many effective punches? See some of these low blows. And again, they're not dirty low blows. It's just this guy's fatigued. His shoulders feel like lead weights, and the hands are coming down. And as those hands come down, Terry realizes it and capitalizes. Watch the right hand. He's going to nail him up now. Boom, right there, right behind the ear. You could tell he was going to do it because he stepped to the right and feinted with his left shoulder. You knew it was coming. And you see what he's doing? He's trying to take the vision away from that left eye and drop the right hand. He'll feint again to the left, and he'll step right. That's Terry's classic move. He'll feint down, try to get the guy to look down, slide to his right, shoot out his left hand and take away the vision of the left eye and drop the right hand. Bang, there. Left hook inside. There's the straight left hand. Terry will try to slip off and sneak off to the left shoulder of Rupa. Then you'll see the left and the right hand for the knockout punch. That's what he tries to do. I mean, there's more to his method of what he's doing than just two guys like probably you listening and I would fight each other if we were fighting. We just slug it out for 2 or 3 minutes as long as we could last. But these guys know what they're doing. They actually think about what they're doing. That actually is a strategy. And you can see Terry using it. The only thing that robs them of that strategy is fatigue. You saw what happened when the big Polish fighter had Riddick Bowe in trouble. Fatigue robbed him of the sensibility of staying away from it. Rupa landed a shot in there and backed Terry off. You talk about the heart of a little champion. How about Rupa showing some heart here? Terry needs to slide down the ropes to hang on, and because of his intelligence, he chooses to hang on. Look at Rupa making a fight of it. How about that? The crowd ought to be cheering on their feet for what Rupa did there. Wow, what an effort by NickRupa.
Stay right on top of him, just like that. Don't pull out, right? Keep the jab going. Keep the jab going. Make the guy go back. Make him go back. Keep him going back, right? hit this one, like, you try to trick over again. Right? You gotta try to trick over, you know, hit him hard, nigga, right?
Because of the
right on top of it.
last few seconds of that round, I gave that round to NickRupa, but that's the first round I was able to give for him. I've been looking for a reason to give it one because I love this kid's heart.
I don't give a fuck when you hit him. Just keep busy. Then when you see the good shot, hit him hard.
Great light heavyweight himself was Georgie Benton. Here's the end of the round. Watch this. He catches Terry good with the right hand, and you see he actually does stagger Terry. You know, with this fatigue factor here, with the determination that Rupa has, actually right now as we're in the 9th round, Rupa needs a knockout to win the fight because Terry's ahead 79-71 on my scorecard. But as you saw, as the fatigue factor sets in more and more for Terry, if he doesn't do something to keep it in his command, stay away from this guy, and then come back in like he is, Rupa could catch him with a hand and turn this fight around. Rupa is very dangerous still, in spite of the fact Terry's giving him a boxing lesson. Terry needs to get down the ropes and get off the guy. Marty Denkins has to separate them for one of the very few times in the fight. Terry knows exactly what he's doing, but he hasn't seen too many more determined fighters than NickRupa. This kid has got the heart of a champion. If he was a little bit bigger, and a little more ability, because he possesses a tremendous heart. I see why he's got 26 professional wins. This kid is a good fighter and a tough, tough kid. He may not win this fight, but I'll tell you one thing, he's winning some fans, and I'm one of them. And again, I'm a guy that loves TerryNorris. But NickRupa, you gotta love this kid. Look at Terry loading up. Very difficult when you're as fond of a fighter as I am of TerryNorris. But when you see an effort like this, just like the crowd here in attendance, they're behind Rupa. They want to see him do well because he has really proven that he has the heart of a champion. Now Marty warns Terry about something. Maybe it's the elbows. Pushing him down with the elbow, he warns him about. And this is a stage where Terry's got to keep his cool now when things aren't going exactly his way. Because if he loses his cool, he can go back to some of his old habits. And look at Rupa keeping the pressure on. And the crowd likes it. And what Terry tries to do is get that elbow inside and jam it down inside so he can't hit him. Terry answers back. Terry looks like there might be something wrong with his left hand. He doesn't seem to have the great power that he had early going. I wonder if he's injured his left hand at all. Sometimes when he throws that left hand, it bends like it just doesn't seem to be landing with the power that he throws it with all the time. And I'm wondering if he's injured his left hand. See Rupa keeping the pressure on, and the crowd loves it. I'll tell you one thing, Georgie taught him defense, and Greg Page taught him a little bit about offense. I'll tell you one thing they didn't have to teach him, that's about heart. Look at this kid. He's winning this round. Rupa's taking this round away from TerryNorris. All right, another good NickRupa round.
Much better. Now you see how it's paying off for you when you stay up close. Now don't pull out, right? I don't want you pulling out from this guy. Stay right on top of it, right? Okay. Keep your hands moving. When the punches come at you, I want you to get down. Don't pull away. Don't pull away. Stay right on top. I don't want to see you take a backward step.
Big put right in front of you.
Okay, now stay right on top of it. You got me? When he starts with them garages, the punches, get down. Get down. Don't stand up. Get down. Get down around his knees.
This is one of the very best teachers in all of the boxing world, Georgie Benton, talking to NickRupa. You hear the instructions?
You gotta hurt him.
Now we're across the way.
No, that uppercut, but
They're not talking about any hand injury to Terry, but it just looked like the way he threw his left hand there a couple of times, and he may have a hand injury, but evidently he doesn't because they're not discussing it at all over there. All right, we're going to the 10th round. Boy, this has been a terrific fight. TerryNorris winning all the early rounds, and NickRupa has won the last 2 rounds. He staggered Terry in the 8th round, as a matter of fact. Now Terry's showing a bit of heart of his own. He's going to cut this thing off because Rupa has an adrenaline flow going, and when winning the 8th to 9th rounds. He's come back. Oh, he caught him with a pretty good left hook. Right hand behind it. And look at this. NickRupa never stops throwing punches. This kid is in tremendous condition, and I keep talking about his heart, and he's got it. Terry has hit him with everything and really hasn't been able to dump it. That left eye is beginning to really crumble, but the corner with Jim Westmoreland in there with that end swell on there has done a terrific job keeping this kid's head together for this fight. There was a stage back in 6 and 7. I was beginning to wonder if Marty Denkin should have a good look and stop this fight because of the amount of head blows that Rupa's taken. But how can you stop the fight when he's coming back and winning the last 2 rounds? This kid's taking a lot of head blows, but his heart is bigger than his head. Let me tell you something. Terry up on his toes, and this is really the way Terry should fight it. He should be circling to his left. By the way, Statman Jody Heaps went over and asked Terry in between rounds in his corner about that left hand, and we found out this. Terry says his hand's okay, but his dad, like myself, is questioning if it's okay. Left hook to the body that time on the ribs. Look at the face of NickRupa. Man, notice how Terry doesn't get involved with bouncing his head around and any headbutt sort of thing. A very clean fighter is Terry. He's been victimized a couple of things by his aggressiveness and being over-aggressive, where he's been said that he is a dirty fighter, but he's not. It's just that he gets caught throwing a punch at the bell, doing something when he thinks a referee has asked him to do something else, and he's kind of been victimized by his own aggressiveness. In this fight, he's had Rupa in trouble a couple of times and has shown tremendous patience. Nice shots. Terry turning it down, and finally he crumbles. Legitimately, for the first time, he goes to the canvas. What Terry's got to do is stay right on him with that right hand. And if he does, I'll tell you this, he can end it right now, because Nick can't take much more. Terry's right on him, looking to throw it. He lands it right behind the left. He hits him again with the right hand, and down he goes, and he's not going to let him take any more punishment. It was the right hand that finished it. He dropped it right on him, and that's all he had to do. Nick dropped his left hand. It was there. Terry saw it. He realized it, the same as we did at ringside, and when he realized it, down he went. It came at 2:34 of the 10th round. TerryNorris knocks out NickRupa. It'll be scored a TKO because Marty Denkins stopped the fight. And I'll tell you this, I am so impressed with NickRupa's heart, but I hope this kid isn't hurt. He's too nice a kid. He took a tremendous amount of punishment, but I got to say this for TerryNorris. Terry kept his patience. I thought he may have injured his left hand. We hope he didn't do that because there's some big paydays coming up for him. But he remained patient. When the opportunity presented itself, he cut him down like a tree. He punished him through 7 rounds of the fight. And Rupa rallied in the 8th and 9th, showing tremendous heart. And when Terry had this opportunity, it's all she wrote. Watch this. He gets him in trouble. Left hook, right hand behind the ear, uppercut him, drop him here now for the first time in the fight legitimately. And what he did, it was no big blow. He just beat him to the canvas. He beat him to submission. And back up he got. And then all he had to do was wait for this. The end of the fight, bang! The right hand right on the jaw. And that's all she wrote. Marty Denkins didn't have to make up his mind. It was over right there. He wasn't going to let this game guy take any more punishment. Brilliant job by TerryNorris. Terrific fight by NickRupa. This is what prize fighting's all about. 2 tremendously conditioned athletes in the peak of their careers fighting for the championship of the world. Great job by that guy, Georgie Benton, to the left of your screen. Jim Westmoreland did a great job. And this kid here, a super job, TerryNorris. What a wonderful, wonderful kid he is. And his dad right behind him and his mom there. It came at 2:34 of the 10th. A technical knockout, but for all practical purposes, Terry knocked out NickRupa. Whew, let me get my breath here. That was a good fight. We've had a good night of boxing here. We had 1 title change hands. We're waiting for Dr. Pacheco to get in there and interview Terry. And I hope he talks to NickRupa too. And I really, really hope that NickRupa isn't seriously hurt. Here's the official announcement.
Gentlemen, we have the time of 2 minutes, 34 seconds. Round at number 10. Our referee in charge, Marty Denkins, stops the contest. He's the winner by way of technical knockout and still the IBF junior middleweight and WBC super welterweight champion of the world, Terrible
is, and I'm sure Dr. Pacheco will get into position to interview him. And as soon as he does, we'll eavesdrop in that interview. While we have the opportunity from our international TV staff, we thank Celia Tuckman and Jim Merriller, Diane McKay and Barbara Brocco in charge of transmission, our chief engineer and Chuck Haefele, Pancho Lamon, great job, ringside security. Our stage manager, Stacy Coughlin, thanks, honey, you did a great job at ringside with us. Let's go to Dr. Pacheco now. I think he's ready. Great job by Jody Heats and Dick Tedeschi on stats tonight. His doc.
One of the hardest men I've seen you fight.
Oh, man, it takes a lot of punch, man. I hit him with a lot of shots that would have knocked out anybody, but he stayed in there. Take my hat out to him.
My co-analyst Bobby Chess and I were saying, you think he just needs the work? I said, needs the work? You can't knock this guy out.
Yeah, I was trying to hit him with everything. I didn't need no work. I wanted to get out as quick as possible with my Mercedes, but I stayed in there.
Well, you know, for a while there, I thought you were trying to give him a wedding present. He just got married. He's going on his honeymoon after this fight. I said maybe in a couple of weeks he's going to go on his honeymoon. But you did finish him, and it was no surprise that you were going to knock him out.
Oh, no. Well, it was a surprise to me because I didn't think he would take that much punishment. When he started taking punishment, hey, I didn't know what to do. So I started putting the combination together and took him out.
Here's your first knockout. Let's make you a commentator. All right, you tell me what you see.
Well, I'm kind of setting him up, you know, pumping
This
the
is
jab.
round 4. Wayne.
I'm throwing the jab. Throwing the jabs and hitting with, you know, he was catching right hands all day.
He didn't hit the deck, but it.
Marty thought his gloves had touched. That's what Marty said, but it looked like he went down. But you know, Marty thought he did. So
the camera shows he was about 6 inches away, but it just gave him basically a nice rest.
Oh yeah, it definitely. You know, first of all, I say thanks to my Lord Almighty, and like I say, hey to my 2 little boys, Chris. Hey, Chris and Terry. Daddy loves you.
All right. Let's address the end of the fight as let's see if we can rack it up and see, because that was kind of a spectacular finish. You tell us.
Well, I'm just setting him up, you know. I'm hitting him with good shots, you know, and I'm taking a lot out of him. And there you go, you know, hitting a lot of combinations, put him down. One punch we're going to take him, then put a number of combinations together and dropped him.
This is the end of the fight, the very end. You tell us.
And I'm setting him up with right hand, a jab right hand, and wobbling. He's gone there. He's out of it right there. There he's gone.
Well, you have to admire a guy that can take that kind of shot, come back at you, keep getting at you. And I would like to know, on the ropes, I mean, several times he got you on the ropes. Was he battering you? Did that hurt at all? Because he looked like he was trying like heck to knock you out on the ropes.
A lot of that didn't hurt, you know, but he hit me with some good shots that stung me. But the ropes, I was just trying to play out the ropes, try to catch him with a good shot, but you know, that's not a little bad thing.
All right, basically, I have to ask, are you satisfied with tonight's performance?
I am satisfied. I got the victory, and you know, I learned a lot in this fight tonight.
Well, just a moment. Here, I want to introduce you to a guy who gave you everything you could have one night. Here's NickRupa.
It was a great fight by Terry. I'd like to congratulate him.
It's a great fight by him, man.
I want to tell you, we've been saying I don't think I saw so much gutsy fighting since those tough guys that came out of Gary in the 30s and 40s. You're the new Jake LaMotta. How can you take that kind of punishment?
It wasn't that bad, really. I just walked in a few. When I started closing up later rounds, it's hard to see that right hand come in.
The knockdown, the last knockdown, you didn't think you could get up from that, did you?
I did think so. Yes, I did.
You did think so?
Yes. Definitely got me.
I was getting up too. I thought he was getting up too. He's been getting up all night.
He thought you were getting up. You could keep getting up all night. Well, there was a limit to how much you could do. Are you the happy young lady that's going off on a honeymoon?
Yes, I am so proud of NickRupa, my husband. He's a warrior, a true champ, and he showed that to the people tonight here in Nashville.
That's what he is, a warrior. So it takes Mrs. Rupa to put the name on this. This is a warrior against the champ, Norris. And back to Steve.
All right, we're just about ready to wrap things up here. So